The Acolyte isn't just a terrible television program, it's an utterly awful mess that botches every aspect of its creation, and movie buffs everywhere ought to watch it to learn how not to construct a narrative. The fact is that, despite The Acolyte's $180 million budget, there are indie films that are more skillful and interesting than it is. This is unacceptable for a Star Wars movie with such a large budget and well-known franchise. When you dissect The Acolyte into its constituent parts, there are zero redeemable qualities. Unless, of course, one very minor exception, a couple of male characters taking off their outfits. Over the course of the 8 episodes, characters' motivations fluctuate, the writing is uneven, the acting is embarrassingly terrible, and the sets are inexpensive. And the mere fact that it has $180 million to play with is the reason we're treating it so harshly. If you'd want some comparisons, the production value of this show is not insignificant. Dune 2 cost $190 million, Oppenheimer $100 million, and House of the Dragon about $20 million per episode. After all, what is The Acolyte? This series, which was created by Leslie Headland, a former PA for Harvey Weinstein, delves into the origins of good and evil among the ranks of the Jedi and Sith. It also dissects the Force and considers the possibility that a covert organization of space witches may have been behind its creation. The Acolyte, which takes place about a century before The Phantom Menace and is set at the close of the High Republic era, revolves around 2 sisters, May and Osha. The Acolyte, which is marketed as a mystery, quickly dispels any idea of such by revealing that May and Osha are twin sisters with completely different goals within 15 minutes. Since Amandla Stenberg is unable to emote, the only unanswered question in this situation is how exactly she was hired. May serves as the acolyte of the Stranger, a mysterious entity. With a xenomorph-like helmet on, the Stranger has given May the mission of eliminating 4 Jedi Masters without using a weapon. It is up to her how she accomplishes this. Osha fits May's description, so the Jedi, still in a state of panic over what to do next after this start, arrest her and take her in for interrogation on a droid-controlled ship. Sadly, things go wrong, and what follows is a game of cat and mouse in which May and Osha argue over what they truly desire, and the Jedi attempt to figure out who is actually behind it all. That would be a fair description for a typical TV show, with plenty of opportunity for character development and engaging conversation to flow. Sadly, the writing is so bad that instead of using logic to solve an issue that is presented to the characters, you'll find yourself second-guessing what's happening based only on how awful the writers are and the worst thing they could make the characters do. Jedi Master Soul demonstrates his ability to mind read in Episode 2, providing a prisoner with important information. After that, the show forgets he can do it, and Soul never again employs that ability. We also find out that in the woods, light attracts bugs. Osha cautions her partner to switch off his lightsaber. And even though she literally just raced away from that direction, she then starts to dash into the forest with her torch on full blast in an attempt to find the Jedi. And brought it up a few sentences ago. If the character development and overall narrative strength of the work are strong enough, a few plot devices may typically be forgiven. However, it's not. In actuality, more mistakes and problems appear the longer you watch The Acolyte. The Acolyte appears surprisingly inexpensive for the price range. A brawl breaks out in the middle of a town plaza, clearly captured on a volume screen, with characters in the background not even blinking or responding to the action. However, there is one episode called All the Rage that has a lot of Jedi and Sith fighting through pitch-black woods. When you're not paying close attention, it appears nice, but the choreography and problems here are difficult to ignore when you take a moment to reflect. Although there are some really cool maneuvers, the strength levels are all over the place, and some of the dubious moves are purposefully hidden in sequences that are out of focus or take place behind trees. And May gives herself a haircut by using a lightsaber blade to cut her dreadlocks, just after demonstrating how lethal lightsabers can be. You're taken out of this universe by the world building and inconsistent character choices, and you'll be left wondering where this one will go next, and not in a good way. The cast swings on varied degrees of awfulness, but aside from Kimmer and Soul, who make the best of the little material they're given, the characters act so crazily. Amandla Stenberg's performance is dreadful, making her the obvious weak link in this situation. That being said, I'm pretty sure that not much would change if Plank from Ed, and Eddie took her place in this. Finding a young woman who maintains the same facial expression throughout a series is really quite astounding. Here is where the world-building issues are best illustrated by a glaring ignorance of the laws of physics, campfires in space, anyone, as time and distance are rendered obsolete. An excellent illustration of this can be found in Episode 6, as two ships that are on different ends of the galaxy appear in the exact same location in a matter of seconds. In the end, though, The Acolyte does more than just make for awful television, it seriously harms the Star Wars franchise. It's a humiliating illustration of how to take a sizable budget and completely waste it. There is absolutely nothing salvageable about this, and even though I might change my mind in a few months, Amandla Stenberg is more likely to cry than this complete waste of time to receive a second season.